If I'm Nick Caserio, I just go Bryce Young. I don't overthink it. I do think that C.J. Stroud has better ball placement and things like that, but I think the way that they built this team during the offseason, the free agents that they acquired, and just having D'Amico Ryans, another Alabama alumni, I think he's a perfect fit in Houston.
I think that's fair, but I mean, imagine grabbing C.J. Stroud at 2, and then at 12, you get his man Jackson Smith, both out of Ohio.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that duo in the league?
That'd be great, but just like you say, you know, having that pair of receivers and quarterbacks, if we get Bryce, we already have Mechie that we got last year.
Yeah, well, that's true. Welcome to LUTV Sports Extra. I'm Cameron Sanderson alongside Tre Sanchez. We're here to discuss everything extra in the world of sports. Tre, you ready to eat?
Bro, I am ready to eat. Let's do it.
Houston, we have a problem. Yes, you are hosting the Final Four, but it's not the most fabulous four of them all. There are no true blue bloods, no true number 1 seeds. What we do have is one of the most unexpected matchups in college basketball history. Saturday's first game features Florida Atlantic versus San Diego State. In the nightcap, the U, aka Miami, will face UConn, the only team who has previously won a national championship. Tre, since you claim to know hoops a little bit, what team will be playing in the championship on Monday? And most importantly, who will have their one shining moment in NRG?
Man, I got to say, I think those Florida boys are both teams from Florida going to be in that championship game. Man, the U, they went through Houston. They ran through them, ended their homecoming tournament, you know, so that they couldn't make it to Houston in the Final Four. Then they went through a tough Texas team and fought back with them after being down for the first half and into that second half as well. So I think they showed their pedigree. They showed that they have the chemistry on the floor. They play with tenacity. They have everything they need to get to that final game, man. I think they continue that against UConn.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Actually, for my UConn-Miami matchup, I'm going to have to go with Miami as well.
Yeah.
You just look at who they've gone against. Like you said, Houston and Texas, and then took down, Indiana, the 4 seed.
Yeah, 3 good teams.
They have taken down a 4, 2, and 1 seed. I don't think they're going to have any problem here making it to the championship. And on top of that, UConn has 3 players participating in Ramadan right now. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
They're fasting.
Yeah.
They will not be able to eat until 9 minutes before tip-off. One of those guys is one of their star players from the tournament so far.
Yeah.
I think that's going to affect them. It's physically going to affect them. They're not eating. I think that Miami can capitalize on that, and I think they're going to be in the championship. Now, with Florida Atlantic and San Diego, I'm sticking with Florida Atlantic. I love the underdog. And they've gone through a tougher path, in my opinion. I think San Diego had a cakewalk to the Sweet 16.
Most definitely.
Easily.
Yeah.
Charleston and then Furman. Are you kidding me? You have not played a serious team in that little run. They had some tougher matchups in their Sweet 16 Elite 8 matchup, but I really do think that what Florida Atlantic has done is better. They have their guys, their coaches sitting there talking about 3 more wins before that Elite 8 matchup.
Yep.
He fully believes, and that team fully believes, they can be national champions.
And you talk about Florida FAU, man. It was reported that Jerome Tang, K-State's head coach, went into that locker room after the Elite 8 matchup and told them, like, hey, there's no team in this competition that's left that can beat you guys. That was their toughest matchup. And as we all know, K-State was America's team going into this tournament with their viral moments in the locker room and things like that. And their play on the floor was just spectacular.
Right.
But you have that FAU team, man. They're tough. They are gritty. They play with their heart on their sleeves, man. And I'm excited to see what they do against San Diego State. I agree. Like I said, my 2 picks to go into this championship game are the 2 Florida teams. I think San Diego State, man, they've done what they had to do to get there, but when you face a team like FAU who has played tougher opponents, they know what to do in a close game, and they've showed that they don't give up, they don't let off the gas in those games that have a bigger margin. You know, I think they've showed you in any situation they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like out of the 4 teams right now, San Diego had the easiest path to get
Most
here.
definitely.
I think we've seen these other teams go against hard battles, but San Diego, it's not been a real tough matchup. But so me and you both, we're going with Florida Atlantic and Miami in the championship.
I got to tell you who I got to win it all, though. I got the U, baby. I mean, you talk about the Elite 8 matchup against Texas. Jordan Miller went 7 for 7 from the field and then 13 for 13 from the line. That's big because you talk about the U who gets to the line a lot. They shot 88% from the line versus Texas, and then the game before in the Sweet 16, they showed that it was nothing sweet in Houston. So when they shot 84% from the line there as well. So if you talk about Jordan Miller continuing on that reign and having that Miller time and having this moment, I don't think there's anything that UConn or FAU can do to stop this team, man.
I think that's fair to say, but I think what I'm seeing out of FAU is a championship team. This team is not playing like a 9 seed. They're playing like a 1 seed, and that is not debatable. They took down Tennessee and Kansas State. They don't look like they're slowing down at all. I think that this team could easily walk in, especially after winning a Final Four matchup. At that point, you're not a 9 seed. You are a 1 seed. You are a top team in the tournament to make the championship. The lights aren't going to be too bright for this team. I think they will come in there and capitalize and take down Miami. A huge underdog story. Disney Channel written.
I just can't agree with you on that, man. I mean, we all know who the big dogs are out there in Florida, and that's the U. That's Miami. And I think that that's going to stand here in this tournament here in the Final Four when we see them in Houston. FAU, like I said, man, I give them all the credit. They deserve to be exactly where they are. But, man, Miami is just a much better team. They have more size. And when you watch their tape, man, the floor spacing that they have over in Miami, they find that corner three a whole lot. And they do really good on off-ball movement, off-ball screens, and FAU is going to have a problem with that. Like I said, Miami knows how to get their opponents into foul trouble, and when that happens, I just don't know how deep FAU's bench is through their rotation to withstand with Miami.
I feel like, though, when we're talking about all 4 of these teams, there's only one team that I'm so certain will make championship. For that Miami-UConn game, I don't know who's coming out of that. Okay. I think Miami has a chance where they don't even see a game on Monday. Okay. Where they are watching a game on Monday and not playing. But FAU will be there. And I think they know that. I know that. And most people should know that they will be there. There's a chance that UConn is playing FAU. FAU is, right now, should be the locked-on pick to make the championship. And I think that gives them a huge advantage, gives them a lot going into this game. This is a team with players who aren't anything serious. None of them will probably make it in the NBA. Let's be honest. This is where they will end their career. They got a lot more to fight for, in my opinion. Yeah. They are going to come out there. I think they'll take them down. I've seen them in late game performances where they need to turn things around, where they need to make a run. Yeah. They will make a run if they need to.
I mean, that's true. And you talk about those matchups that we have going in. You say that San Diego didn't really play anybody. They had the easiest path here. And that's who FAU has to go through to get to the finals? Are you kidding me? So you talk about that and then saying that UConn has a good matchup against Miami. If Miami does make it to that game, there's no way that you can tell me that they're not going to beat FAU. I mean, they've gone through Houston, as we already talked about. They've gone through Texas. And then they have to go through UConn, the only team in this Final Four that has ever won a championship. So if they go ahead and knock them off as well, I don't see them having any issues with FAU.
I do. I do see them having issues with AFU, and it's going to be with winning. They're not going to win. And it's just as simple as that. FAU has played tough teams. They've continued. Kansas State was a big win. Me and you both know this. I think Kansas State is probably better than Miami. So coming off of a win against Kansas State is a really big deal coming into this Final Four matchup. They're going to win the Final Four matchup, and if they see Miami in the championship, I don't think they'll have a problem against Miami.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for tuning in to LUTV Sports Extra. This is a production of LUTV Sports, where we keep you in the game for every game. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to stay plugged in to everything extra in the world of sports. See you next time. I really, you know what, though? I do think that UConn can.
I think they can beat them.
I think UConn really could make it. And if UConn and FAU are there, I might side with UConn.
I mean, that's the thing, though. That's my point I'm making is that out of that